Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Josh Black, a senior concept artist and a figure drawing and anatomy instructor online. I teach through Proko.com and also through my tutorials on Gumroad. And of course, my YouTube channel here, which you're following at the moment. I try to post free tips and advice on this channel, and also try to give you updates on when I release new tutorials and stuff like that. So today I wanted to go over gesture drawing, a topic that I've covered in previous videos, but I thought we could break this dry spell of me not posting for the last few months and go ahead and warm up with some gestures again. As with the previous videos, we're going to start off with some warm-up exercises. The reference that you see here on the side I got from Proko.com. They have a lot of fantastic reference bundles, and if you'd like to follow along, I think that would be awesome. We can kind of draw together. I'll share tips, and hopefully we can kind of treat this more like an open drawing session. I'm hoping to do something like this in the future on maybe Patreon, like using Zoom, or perhaps I could start a Discord channel or something like that. Honestly, I'd be very interested in hearing in the comments section if a Patreon would be something that people would be interested in, and there I could again have live teaching sessions where I can do draw-overs, I can give feedback on portfolios and work, and give drawing tips on anatomy and figure drawing, and yeah, just let me know. Anyways, what I'm doing here, I'm just warming up, just trying to get my shoulder and my wrist warm and loose. And here I'm just doing a series of kind of curvilinear rhythmic lines running across the page. This is an exercise I learned from Michael Matesi from his book, Force Drawing. He just talks about, he compares this exercise to like skating on ice, where you're just carving these lines in a continuous fashion here, just to again warm up and also get used to drawing those rhythms. And then I'll just do a quick series of circles, different shapes. I know I've done this in previous videos, but honestly this is something I do before I start drawing, regardless of what day it is. I always try to warm up and do my little routine here. Here I'm just doing some arrows, kind of flow into each other. And we'll just do a series of cylinders. Just turning these in perspective. Do some macaroni shapes. Roughly put in the topology lines. This one looks more like a croissant. Draw some spheres. Again, indicating the topology. Okay, with that, I think we're ready to get started on these. With this first gesture, I want us to focus primarily on just finding the overall directions and the primary rhythms of the figure. So we're going to try really hard not to get carried away with the detail. Notice I'm just using a soft line for the lay-in, not going very dark. We're starting off with very simple kind of graphic shapes. Do a little connecting line for the knees, just so you can see how they relate to each other. Establish that C curve on the navel. Establish the nipple line. Getting a little busy, so I'll just erase out some of those lines. Again, I'm keeping all the shapes very graphic at this point. I'm going to raise that navel a little bit more. So we can see that C line of the torso feeds into the pit of the neck and down to the base of the crotch. And let's go ahead and save this. But again, you just saw how I did my lay-in with a very soft line, focusing on just finding those overall directions and lines of action. And from there, I can start working in the secondary and tertiary details. Occasionally it's nice to do these little connecting lines just to see if everything's lining up as it should be. So you can always, erase those later. They're just there as guides. Before we save it, let's just block out the head of the cranium. Okay, there we go. I think that's a decent start. I do see that the torso is a bit too big, so I'm just going to shrink that down using the transform tool. And so I can move the feet over a bit. Right now I'm just comparing the angles, and now I think it's feeling better. Occasionally I do that when I'm drawing digitally. That's one of the perks of using Photoshop. You can correct some of those mistakes instead of having to start all the way over. The important thing is that you're able to spot them, and my personal opinion is if you're able to see the mistake, I think it's good to try to correct it, because I think that will train your eye to see those things that need correcting and that are off. Anyway, let's save it real quick. So I'm going to shrink this down so I can see a little better. And now that I can see better, I can see I still need to correct these legs, make them a little bigger. Need a little more length. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to go back down to the legs and the hips. I'm just blocking out the pelvis. So there's a nice S-curve there that flows from the crotch through the adductors here on the inner thigh, and it flows down into the shin bone, down into the ankle right there. So that's a nice S-curve you can look for. Again, this torso line is a C-curve. I just noticed I needed to move the navel over a little bit. So C-curve, write that down. And with a little bit of foreshortening that's taking place on this thigh, it's pretty easy to see that these quads are overlapping the pelvis. See that overlapping line there? And it comes back in as it feeds into the patella, the kneecap. I'm just going to block out the kneecap there. See that little tendon that feeds down into the tibial tuberosity, which is this little protrusion right here. So the ligament that connects the patella down to the tibia, which is the larger bone of the lower legs, that connects to that tibial tuberosity. Oops. Tibial tuberosity. You see that little protrusion of the fibula, the head of the fibula that the hamstrings feed into on the lateral side of the lower leg. So I'm just going to block that in. I'm going to go ahead and flush out the gastrocnemius and the soleus. So the gastrocnemius overlaps the soleus muscle. And that kind of feeds down into the ankle. And then there's that tibialis anterior. That's kind of, it's very similar to the extensor digitorum of the forearm. It's kind of on the lateral side of the shin. Going to push that all back in shadow. We can go back later and flesh it out a little more. I'm just going to do a quick gesture of this foot. You see more of the medial side of the foot here. You get to see that longitudinal arch of the medial side of the foot. It feeds back into the calcaneus, the ball of the foot. We got the big toe and the smaller toes. We'll go back and flesh that out more. So with the foreshortening, it's really important to get those overlapping shapes. Okay, I'm going to save this. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this other leg. Yeah, I can see right now I'm gonna have to move his shoulders down a bit because he's leaning forward more so than I thought. So I can see the adductors here. They're a bit lost in shadow, so I have to conceptualize that a little bit. Again, we have that nice kind of S curve that comes down into the medial ankle there. I'm going to erase out some of that construction. So again, let's highlight that S curve in the leg. It's a nice rhythm to find that'll help your eye travel all the way up and down the leg. And then this side is more of the business side with all the information and breaks. So you have that contrast. I'll go ahead and save it. Okay, so you can see that I actually worked a little more on the leg there. I recorded it, but then my computer crashed. So for the sake of time, as I said earlier, I'm trying to make these videos shorter. I'm just going to explain to you what I did here. I was trying to draw some arrows to show you where the straights and curves are. So I'm just going to select a red color. Here I broke up the adductors with two straights, and then it flows into a curve that then flows into another curve, showing the gesture of the tibia, which is, you know, that major bone of the lower leg. And then on the outside of the lateral part of the leg, I broke it up with two straights, and then there's a straight here indicating the side of the knee area, and then the quads here. This is kind of the gesture of the vastus lateralis, which is more of a curve. So yeah, I just wanted to break that up for you. And really, you want to just take advantage of opportunities to get curves contrasting with straights, and to get forms, tapering forms and offset curves, because visually those are a lot more interesting than static shapes like parallel lines, or curves that are essentially parallel to each other. That's just something to keep in mind when you're doing your figure drawings. Try to find opportunities to kind of exaggerate and design with those design principles. Okay, so we're going to move on to the upper torso now. And as you can see, compared to the reference image, my torso is a little more upright, so we're going to have to push that down so it's leaning forward more, and we're getting more, we need to have more foreshortening with the rib cage and the chest, the shoulder girdle. So we're going to move on to that now. We're just going to save this, and then we'll proceed with the torso. Okay, so again, we need to fix the torso. The perspective is a little off. There's more foreshortening happening here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of squish it down a little bit. Then I can see the shoulders are actually more tilted. I think that actually gets us closer to where we need to be. So yeah, you always want to be paying attention to your proportions and checking the tilt and angle of your shoulders and the hips, because those definitely dictate the overall gesture of the figure, I think more than anything else. So yeah, after giving a second glance at the torso, I realized we needed to make those corrections. Again, that's the nice thing with using Photoshop, is you can do those quick fixes when you need to. And so since this is a torso that's tilting towards us and we have that foreshortening, we want to really accentuate those overlapping shapes, those overlapping lines. So here we have the chest overlapping the abs here and the rib cage, and then the abs and the rib cage overlapping the external obliques here. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I can vaguely see the nipples here, so I'm just going to show the nipple line. Just pull that back a little bit. And our core shadow is like right on top of the nipple there, so it's more occluded. I'm just going to kind of block that area in shadow. And here we have a nice core shadow on the external oblique on the right of the figure. I'm going to go ahead and just add some quick value to the swimsuit there. Okay, so I think we have a good start on the torso there with the abs, um, indicating that tilting forward. I think we'll define the muscles here a bit more. So here I'm indicating the clavicles, and also where the chest meets up with the shoulder muscles. Sometimes I like to do kind of a connecting curve line to show where the infraclavicular fossa is, which is that little furrow right there. And it's formed where, again, the shoulders and the clavicles and the chest meet up. So you can see the upper arm here is receding in space, and then the forearm is coming down. To pull that down. So we're going to redo that. So we need more length. And I'm doing a connecting line, connecting the fingertips together, kind of trying to form a more simplified shape, just so I can get the placement. So here we can see the trapezius fitting into the deltoid muscles here, kind of form this kind of C shape that surrounds and encases the base of the trapezius. I'm just going to do a little line here to indicate the base of his chin. And from there I'm going to try to find where his eye line would be in relationship to the trapezius. So it looks like it's about right there. And a little dash for the base of the hairline on the forehead. Blocking in the ear. I'll find the tip of his nose. I'll establish his eyebrows. I'm going to use more straights just to block out the shape of his head and his hair. Kind of falls into shadow, so we can't really see the contours very well. Just going to indicate the base of his lower eyelids. Alright, well, I think we're going to have to cut this short and call this video done. This took a little bit longer than I was hoping. The next one will be shorter, and again, the goal is to do this more frequently, treat this more like an open drawing session that we can do together once or twice a week, and hopefully we can learn some fun things together as we do these figure drawings and anatomy studies and drawing exercises. So thanks for tuning in until the end, and until next time, bye.